The relationship between the Trump administration and American higher education institutions has plunged into a historic and deeply consequential conflict centered around allegations of anti-Semitism, mass visa revocations, and sweeping threats to federal funding. Nowhere has this clash been more visible than at Harvard University, which has become the epicenter of a concerted federal effort to reshape institutional policy, student demographics, and the very autonomy of higher education in the United States. What began as concern over anti-Semitic rhetoric on campuses has since evolved into a confrontation between federal power and academic independence in modern American history. Welcome to the Asian Chronicle. This is TAC Explained. The current conflict has its roots in October 2023 Hamas attacks on Israel, which catalyzed pro-Palestinian demonstrations across numerous US campuses, including Columbia and Harvard. Jewish students and advocacy groups reported escalating incidents of harassment and anti-Semitic speech. In December 2023, the presidents of Harvard, MIT, and University of Pennsylvania were summoned before Congress to testify about anti-Semitism at their institutions. Their legalistic and context-dependent responses to whether calls for the genocide of Jews violated university codes of conduct triggered a nationwide uproar. Public condemnation followed, leading to the resignations of Harvard President Claudine Gay, UPenn President Liz McGill, and later Columbia's Minouche Shafik and 3 deans. These leadership changes signaled a broader institutional reckoning and triggered a formal congressional investigation into anti-Semitism in higher education in the US. In an attempt to mitigate rising tensions, Harvard University settled 2 lawsuits in early 2025, agreeing to implement mandatory anti-Semitism training, create a new Office of Religious Tolerance, and adopt the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance's definition of anti-Semitism. These actions followed a damning internal report and a federal court finding that claims of institutional indifference toward Jewish students were plausible, requiring Harvard to face legal precedents. Simultaneously, President Donald Trump issued the Executive Order 14188, mandating federal agencies to monitor anti-Semitism within educational institutions more aggressively, particularly focusing on foreign students and the university funding structure. The Trump administration quickly escalated its efforts. The Justice Department official Leo Terrell announced plans for massive lawsuits targeting institutions across the country. Meanwhile, hundreds of international students, many from China and the Middle East, had their visas revoked, a policy publicly linked to student activism and alleged national security threats. By April 2025, over 1,500 international students from more than 250 colleges had lost their visas, with dozens detained by ICE or US's Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency without due notice or due process. High-profile arrests, including Palestinian student Mahmoud Khalil, raised alarms about potential First Amendment violations. Beyond the moral and legal dimensions, these measures have created significant economic disruptions. International students, over 50% of them are from China and India, and they contribute to more than $50 billion to the US economy only in 2025. Harvard and similar institutions rely heavily on this revenue to support research, operations, etc. Immigration attorney David Leopold characterized the visa revocation policies as, and I quote, cataclysmic, maybe even catastrophic for American universities, warning massive economic and cultural impacts. The administration's confrontation with Harvard reached new heights when President Alan Garber refused a set of sweeping federal demands, which included auditing campus, speech, reorganizing governance structures, and purging certain student organizations. In a defined statement, Garber asserted that no government should dictate what private universities can teach, whom they can admit and hire, and which areas of study and inquiry they can pursue. The Trump administration responded to this by freezing $2.3 billion in federal grants, contracts including funding critical to Harvard-affiliated hospitals like Massachusetts General and the Dana-Farber. These cuts, designed to maximize leverage, impacted not only academic research but also healthcare delivery and medical innovation in the Boston region. In perhaps the most dramatic step yet, the Department of Homeland Security revoked Harvard's certification under the Student and Exchange Visitor Program, or the SEVP, barring the university from enrolling international students. Although federal judge Alison Burroughs quickly issued a temporary restraining order, the revocation signaled the administration's willingness to leverage immigration enforcement as a tool of educational policy. Harvard now has 30 days to contest the revocation, a timeline that leaves thousands of international students in limbo. The administration has also floated proposals to cap international student enrollment at 15%, down from Harvard's current 27%, with Trump claiming that American students are being displaced because of international and foreign students. Simultaneously, the State Department paused new student visas appointments, further deepening this crisis. Additionally, the IRS, or the Internal Revenue Service, has opened a review of Harvard's non-profit status, with officials suggesting that continued political non-compliance may justify revoking the university's tax-exempt classification. Such a move would impose significant financial penalties and set a dangerous precedent for political interference in private education. On April 21 of this year, Harvard filed a comprehensive federal lawsuit alleging constitutional violations, particularly with regard to academic freedom, due process, and free expression. The case, President and Fellows of Harvard College versus United States Department of Health and Human Services, questions whether the federal government can use financial and regulatory pressure to coerce institutional compliance with ideological and political aims. While the temporary restraining order against the SEVP bans offer short-term relief, the broader legal battle looms. Harvard and other institutions must now determine how to defend their core values while retaining access to federal funding, visas, and research partnerships. This conflict represents a pivotal moment for American universities. The Trump administration's sweeping use of executive authority and federal leverage has reframed how the federal government interacts with higher education, not as a partner but as a regulator with clear ideological objectives. More broadly, the campaign jeopardizes the US's long-standing status of a global academic leader. Competitor nations stand to benefit from the exodus of international students and researchers. Hong Kong, for example, has already opened pathways for displaced Harvard students, signaling a growing willingness to capitalize on American internal disarray. Meanwhile, American innovation and economic competitiveness could suffer lasting damage. Harvard's resistance, bolstered by legal action and growing academic support, will likely determine the future boundaries of federal power in education. But the outcome will impact far more than one institution. It will shape the rules of engagement between government and academia for decades to come, and in doing so, define the intellectual and cultural character of the nation. Thank you, and you are watching The Asian Chronicle.